I knew it was going to be a good one.
That's been brewing for like a month, Ryan.
All right.
Oh, wow. Look how big we are. I'm so big.
We're good. We're doing well. We need to market our faces
my pores.
better. Well, yeah, you didn't do the facial. I said we're going to go close-ups. Get a facial.
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
you're dirty. You are dirty.
Ryan. So Ryan, I just got back. I've been working in a coal mine, going downtown, working in the coal mine. Woo! I gotta get down.
Is that a sexual reference?
It's a 1950s song reference.
It's cunnilingus, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. My wife asks why I wear a top knot every time I go to make a love tour, and I just answered, "Duty is heavy as a mountain."
Everyone, this is Tavern Talk. It's the unprecedented Thursday edition of Tavern Talk. Shit dropped, and it's hot, and we need to talk about it. Before we get into it, though, we have a spoiler alert. This is a full spoiler show, so if you have not read the books, please, whatever.
Normally our Thursday shows are spoiler free, and so this is a special edition of it's a Tavern Talk because we're all talking and we're drinking, but this is a reaction to news that we just got earlier this week, and we have some friends backstage too, right?
We do, but before we get to them, I got to tell everyone, and Dan, let me know. I often pontificate about the nature of time and existence, but then people will start filming me, and they start calling me like Puppet Karen, or hey, why don't you grow some legs? So I've basically stopped doing it publicly, but it doesn't stop me about thinking about all these future people who may not be watching this now live stream. So if you're not live, you might not know what the hell you're saying. And let me tell you what is happening, right? This is a spoiler discussion show called Tavern Talk. If you have not read the entire series, like I said, please come back and enjoy our first-time reader show.
Yeah, hit the skids, Jack. Go read the book and then come hang out with us.
Or just pause it. Put it on pause, read all the series, and then unpause.
We'll wait.
All right, so Tavern Talk is our chance to get guests on and talk about theories, talk about what's happening with the Amazon show, learn how to talk in general.
Words, huh?
Yeah. And basically, we debate like they debate on the Discovery Channel. This episode, we're going to be discussing news that just dropped from out of nowhere, and it's just concerning the 3 movies that are slated to be dropped, and it is a controversial discussion. And let us bring in our guest to help us proceed, Brother Dan.
Hit that music.
Oh, where's Rob?
Where's Rob?
Oh, man.
All right. Special guest.
Hey everybody, we have with us.
All right, off to a good start. Dan's good.
Yeah, one of our most diverse crowd group of what are we? Fucking quorum? A panel.
Words, right?
Words. It's been so long. It's been so long. I need to re-up my Adderall. All right. So we've
got 3 white guys here.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
But one of them's like from Europe. Does that help?
I'm glad we're all here. Let's enter the tavern together.
Spookiest taverns ever, guys. Always.
Probably like WD-40 in there.
No, it would be horse lard.
Yeah.
I think
The Wheel
it
of
just
Time.
had.
I know WD-40.
It has
We were gonna
it's-
go.
It has gravitas, guys. It's just gravitas. That's
were-
not a.
We were gonna. So we had heard that Bella died. We were going to memorialize her by using her lard to grease the door. And then the companion comes out and says, "No, Bella is alive and well." And so we're just waiting for her to die, and then that door's gonna get some grease.
That is
I'd
impressive.
forgotten how much production value you guys have put in your show, and every time I'm just like instantly jealous, annoyed, and just like, what the fuck, man?
No,
Get your shit together, Joe.
No, it's all like there's so much money
Sorry,
is put
John.
into this.
The
But
horse's
there's-
head goes upside down. Didn't you see that?
Yeah.
As it went
Yeah.
down the stairs.
What am I seeing?
A dead horse. Because it's just the head.
It's
So-
just the head. So yeah, Godfather.
Yeah.
That's where Bella ends up in the bed.
Oh, as you can
Rand's just
see,
trying to prove a point.
as you can see, let's introduce you guys. We have Joe and Jono from the Twatcast.
Hey!
Hello.
The penultimate,
Yes.
the standard bearer, the 4-star general.
The
You are the
the
MacArthur to our Philippines.
The Anheuser-Busch of shows.
Happy to be there, I guess. At least we're still in business.
And with them also is listed as Tylen's Toy, but is at Matcham Cawthon on Twitter. Correct?
Other way around.
Cawthon Matcham?
Other,
Tylen's
Turn that
Toy?
one
Well, you say it. You say it. Come on.
I am Tylen's Toy. I'm also known as Adam.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Adam.
if you could put
Yeah.
a little @ sign in front of his name, it would make more sense.
It would.
What's funny is, Adam, I looked when I first looked to see who was invited, I saw Tolstoy instead of Tylen's Toy, just like out of the corner. I was like, that's a weird thing. I didn't expect a Russian kind of. But let's go for it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna get very nihilistic about this trilogy.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
all about
man.
time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have friends. Guys, words are hard. Thank you,
Yes.
brother Dan. You way to get a whole
words, right?
words. What are we doing here? Words. We have a lot of people who I think are at JordanCon right now.
I mean,
Please
we're working, I think.
let us know how it's going.
How many V cards do you think are being handed out this weekend, guys?
Revoked, I think.
At least
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Damn.
How do you hand one out first? I've got some questions. Let's try it out for my wife.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you wouldn't hand it.
All right. Well,
That's only second base.
where is Rob? Rob has an early work day tomorrow, and he is unable to grit it out. So we're going to allow this man to go get some sleep and go to work tomorrow.
But
no Rob today.
We
My
all
bad.
wrote
That's
a
not what
quick.
Rob told me. Rob
We
said
all-
something like, I don't like the LeafCast guys anymore. I'm not going to hang out with them anymore. Drug money, drug money, drug money. Then he closed a briefcase filled with money and ran out into the street screaming. It was weird.
I don't know how much I would pay to see that, but it would be a bit.
A secondary briefcase.
It would be.
It was weird, but I liked it.
All right, so we are here for a reason, guys. Thanks. Drink up, guys. Barkeep, another round. Let's
I
keep
do
it
need
going.
one in like a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and feel free. This is
Just so
this
the
is
audience
informal.
knows, I'm going to go to the bar like a couple of times.
Yeah, no sweat. The beauty of Jono on the phone is he could just take us with him to the fridge.
Yeah.
To the bathroom.
I own a duplex, so we can check out the entirety of the house, which has a entire beer fridge.
Wow! A beer dedicated. Wait. A beer dedicated to Fridge? Oh, wait.
Yes.
And it's actually a walk-in fridge.
Right.
Just runs very hot. It's like 70 degrees.
The other
like
side
a
of his
liquor
house
store.
is actually a gas station convenience store.
He just has like some
The
weird
whole-
tunnel. No, we're here for a reason, guys, because we heard some news. I think it was the Hollywood Reporter had shared the news that there is rumors going on about a movie trilogy in the works, and they reported that the what's his name? Not Zach Ertz. I'm thinking Zach Ertz. He's a football player.
He's
Zach,
a tight end.
right?
New career trajectory.
Zach's
Snyder.
Zack
It's the Snyder cut of the Wheel of Time.
Zack Snyder. Yeah, it's his. He's got a cut,
It's going to be real dark and gritty.
but
A lot
it's
of
about
floating ashing specks through the air.
Zach Stentz, brother.
Zach
Dan. Zach
Stentz.
Stentz.
I thought it was
I
Hart
was way up.
Stentz, and it's his brother Zach.
Gone.
Go on. So, and this would be a trilogy based on the Age of Legends, which is the age that occurs before the current Wheel of Time series. The second age, I guess it would be called, right?
Correct.
And the community kind of flipped their shit, rightfully so. And
Honestly, it's not that surprising.
Well, it's not surprising, but my experience of it was, I heard that there's a movie coming out. I read like the Hollywood Reporter, and they didn't really go into anything about that. It seemed very elusive whether or not Amazon was a part of it or not. I just assumed Amazon was doing this, and I got excited. Dan and I were like on the phone.
They're not at all connected, apparently.
Yeah, it's just the same Red Eagle guys, looks like, which is, we'll see how that
Which
turns out.
means, I guess, they retain the rights to just movies, or not the main books in the movies, but certain aspects of the books in the movies, which is even weirder.
Yeah, so
Maybe they retain the rights to the encyclopedia.
That's the smart thing to own.
Adam, what are your thoughts? What does Red Eagle have the rights to, as far as you understand?
As far as I'm aware, Red Eagle have the rights to everything except the book series. So there was a brilliant article on Dragon Mount by Adam Whitehead, and he kind of has a good timeline from 2000, when the series was first option to NBC, going all the way through to the Red Eagle monstrosity that was Winter Dragon, all the way to where we're up to today. So Red Eagle, or IWAT, or however we're going to refer to them, do have the legal rights to produce these movies, but there seems to have been a bit of confusion and a bit of backlash, or not backlash, but confusion between them and Sony and Amazon and Rafe and Co., who, from what seems to be reported, they had no idea about.
So the part that's interesting to me is like the aspect of like, it seems like they're jumping on the bandwagon before it's left the stable, so to speak. Like why wait for the show to get popular a little bit before you just like jump in and start making a movie?
So this is just like screen treatment, right? It's just writing. It's nothing, like there's no money necessarily obligated other than to pay this dude, I think. So I mean, it's probably going to take 5-7 years, get mashed up, fucked up, however many times.
No, it's not. It's going to be like 2 years, and it'll be season 2, and we'll see the first movie of the Age of Legend.
So the thought is that they announced this because season 2 had been greenlit.
Yeah. Also, they have they have Jordan Studios over there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you see that article I sent you guys?
If they have Jordan Studios, like, clearly Amazon is like, yeah, we're greenlighting the whole thing. We're just not telling you about it.
So I think
they obviously think they have something.
One point we probably should have talked about was the giant winning smile on the author's face, which is to my top left here. That guy, like, he just could not, like, he's either like, ejaculating or taking a great shit, because that is just one of those faces you don't really, like, kind of capture too often.
Those are the only two options.
What was the other option?
Right.
No, that's
No.
it. Ejaculate
at the same
great
time.
shit. I mean, if I was to guess, I would say great shit. It's a great shit.
He does have a shirt on. It looks like you can see the
Yeah.
collar. Or he's dressed as a priest for some other reasons. But,
right.
so...
That is a lot of teeth. And
Yeah.
I'm glad he's showing them all.
So let's to add to this. This is Sarah Nakamura's Twitter account, and here she is responding with 3 sets of googly eyes, which I've been following her studiously, and she is only want to do 2 sets. So 3 sets of googly eyes is like she must really be offended. And down here she goes, "No, I'm off to bed. We'll see how Twitter of Time feels in the AM. I literally just found out a short time before the announcement." Now,
Wow.
I'm troubled by that greatly, and it only adds to my like ire towards Red Eagle and their disdainful history that they have with the Wheel of Time family, and they've sued Harriet. Here's
That's a little
an article right here. The Wheel of Time lawsuit was withdrawn amid settlement discussions. The dispute blew up after they premiered Winter Dragon at 1:30 a.m. Robert
Billy
Jordan's
Zane.
widow saying she was dumbfounded.
Is that Billy Zane?
Yeah.
It is Billy Zane.
Yeah. Quote unquote. Well, let's go. Let's get back here. Yeah, that's Billy Zane.
That's
It's
like
Billy
Ti-
fucking Zane,
Is that
guys.
Titanic Zane?
That is
Titanic
Titanic Zane.
post-Titanic Zane.
Oh, this is top of the line Zane right here. Look how many people are happy. Look at, they're all smiling.
Yeah.
But
He's
who's
signing
happiest?
breaths there.
Who's the
They've clearly
happiest?
not
though?
seen Winter Dragon.
All right, the article goes on. Red Eagle responded with a lawsuit for slander of title and tortuous interference filed in California federal court, alleging that McDougal was more aware of the situation than she let on. McDougal despaired. Yeah, so it is hot, and I'm glad we are all here to get into it. Our friend Tylen's Toy here has, to add to the discussion, he found several quotes, and I want to go through them. And Dan, are you ready to read the first quote?
Yes, I've been waiting since you asked.
Okay, so when we just got to get some music for this. Give me 1 second.
Hold on.
All right, here we go.
My glasses.
This is the first quote from our friend Landman Dragar.
Larry, right? Larry
yes.
Dragon.
Larry.
This is someone who was an executive producer of Winter Dragon. It was brought on very early on to Red Eagle, first as a consultant, but then as a part of the whole team, and is now listed as an executive producer for the Wheel of Time Amazon show. Quote: "As we are being introduced..." Hold on, Ryan. What does Larry Mandragoran sound like?
I think it's a cross.
Do you think Billy Zane?
It was a cross between Billy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Billy
Billy
Zane.
fucking Zane.
Just go with Billy Zane.
Please, go. Bald it
As we are being introduced to the story by Robert Jordan, we are given an intimate view of the final moment of the Age of Legends, as mankind is about to lose everything. In our motion picture, nice lighter. In our motion picture, with the death of Luz Theron and the raging madness that leads to the breaking of the world, the audience can visually experience what has been lost at the hands of the Shadow. These remarkable events will give the audience a crucial insight into what is at stake as we begin the next part of our story with Rand and his friends, beginning in the throwback village of Edmondsfield and continuing as they begin to explore A world in which relics of our distant future are found. This is a fucking long sentence. Of our distant future are found everywhere and serve as a stark reminder of what has been surrendered to the shadow.
That really is a long sentence.
Hold on, that started at these remarkable.
Well, Dan, I'm impressed that and we all see that Billy Zane does not know the story because he puts the D in Emmonsfield.
No, Billy Zane makes his own punctuation. Billy Zane makes his own. Come on, it's Billy fucking Zane.
It's Billy fucking Zane. He does what he wants, and we all love it.
All right, so I mean, how do we feel about this? This is one of the executive producers saying
do not like that run-on sentence.
You're right. Okay.
So, to give a bit of context in regards to this quote, this was given in an interview at JordanCon back in 2010. And the reason I picked this one is because it initially sounds like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. And as we see down the line when we get the abomination that is Winter's Dragon, he loses it completely. We see the death of Luciferin and the raging madness. The audience can visually experience what has been lost at the hands of the Shadow. What has been lost is Max Ryan being able to hold a single accent for 20 minutes. Just some really, really bad set work.
But the special effects are amazing, though, right?
Channeling, amazing.
I think we only got
being made.
We didn't get Max
Yeah.
Ryan. He has better work, I'm sure. So
It's kind of amazing, though. It's a piece of wonderful, film to watch every once in a while when you get really drunk.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the impression that you guys don't like Winter's Dragon.
Huh.
Ryan and I were part of one of the. I still feel the taint on my tongue about this experience, where Delusions of Grendel tricked her her no-time reader. He's just going to be a show watcher, but it is a part of her podcast. And we tricked him into thinking that Winter's Dragon was an actual release of what Amazon series is going to be all about. And it was gross and it was fun. We just lied the whole time, like, oh my fucking God, look at the lighting. This is fantastic. Oh wow. Oh my God, dolls and stuff. Like we were just like trying
That's
to
Ishmael if I've ever seen him.
Yeah. Billy Zane is exactly who I had in mind for this. I can't believe they got him. Perfect.
What caliber, guys.
I really hope the first movie in the trilogy is called Winter's Dragon. That would just make the greatest sense.
Yes! So great.
It'd also be without any context too. I love that.
It's too much.
Although
People think it's a Dragonlance film.
Yeah.
And they actually add dragons.
So
this time with real dragons.
I am gonna be slightly contrarian and say that it seems like this series with Sony and Amazon would not be existing without what Red Eagle has accomplished.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear that?
I don't.
Yeah. And that we should probably give credit where credit is due. And
I mean, they had a long time to get something going, and they never did it.
They put a pilot out at the last minute. What the fuck are you talking about? They did it.
Never mind.
They high-fived at the end. They're like, yes.
Yeah, read the fine print, Joe.
I mean, there was those comic books that they made. That was all right.
Yeah, half of them.
We're all right. We're all right.
Weren't they quite late though? Like as far as timing, they were just. Or was that the calendar?
Yeah, there was weird timing on everything they did. Really, I think.
Guys, you should probably they've been known to sue for slander, so just as a disclaimer.
I know.
It was weird timing. Not everyone's supposed to hear about that here. But we're broadcasting it.
Hey-oh. Well, that's yeah, and apparently they settled out of court.
First off, what the f? To quote our friend Floaty, what the f? Was that the sound of the boar freezing over?
Hello, Sinan. Are we looking at a drunk puppet check?
No, that was earlier. There it is.
Okay, all right. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Slanjavar.
We do not know what that sound was.
Slanjavar, that's what my Scottish friend always says when we drink. I think it's just Gaelic, some shit.
All right, so we have another quote, and let's get some music going for it because this is another great quote. I'm going to read this one. In my own, also, this is quote number 3. Quote number 3.
What happened to 2?
We'll get there.
We'll come to quote number
1, 3.
We'll get there.
Got it.
Yeah.
My
Yep. 3 minus
Who wants
1
linear? No, the best stories are not told in linear.
Above all else,
Quotes
the
are a
one
wheel.
thing I want to impress on you is that the team working on the project fervently wants to do the best job. That's horrible. All right. So above all else, the one thing I want to impress on you is that the team working on the project fervently wants to do the best job possible. We really care about the quality of this project. It is not about getting something out fast, or we would have finished long ago.
True. That's very true.
Okay.
Can't be sued for slander on that one.
Not only are they patient at producing films, they might be great lovers. Rather, it is about doing something that meets an exacting standard that I think would make Robert Jordan, and certainly Harriet, who we sued, Brandon, and most importantly, all the fans around the world proud of our effort. This was when they were under the assumption that they were going to make The Eye of the World. So they were talking about making The Eye of the World movie back in like 2015. And then there's some sort of legal mumbo jumbo. Red Eagle Productions turned into I What? And they also have, and they've also created Age of Legends Productions, I believe, and they are going all in. So I did some research. Thailand's Toys done a bunch of research, and it is dubious at best what we're finding out. And no one, as John from What Up explained in his video so eloquently, it was a blindside. No one knew what was happening. Sarah Nakamura later on confirms this, and I'm wondering, this is the facts as we know it, and if anyone in chat knows different facts, please let us know, or if the story's evolved. I mean, I'm sure this is almost almost like a hot story. Speaking of hot.
Hot shits.
But like now...
Very satisfying, though.
Yeah.
So now there's that's kind of like the legal back and forth, and this is big money being invested. The executive producers include some names I've even recognized. I've lost it as I'm speaking. I will find it though. The executive producers on board of this movie include
Eva Longoria.
There we go. Thank you.
That one I saw and I just couldn't stop laughing because I was like, I get executive producer doesn't really translate to knowledge necessarily of the product, but I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, she's gonna be in it. She's gonna be in it.
She's Ileana.
You know what I thought was, honestly, my number one takeaway, no matter if they do a good job or a bad job, my number one takeaway was like, they haven't announced any castings of The Forsaken yet. And they say they don't know that these movies existed, but maybe I wonder if they're going to try to cast the same people, which I imagine they're not, but at the same time, like, you're making movies with a land fear and a show with a land fear, and they're not the same people. Like, I don't know. Pretty dumb. Like, maybe coordinate.
This is something which I thought about earlier. If Sony and Amazon have the rights to the book series and iWat have everything else, what happens when we get to season 3, season 4, when we are looking at the Shadow Rising and we're seeing Rand go through the glass pillars? We're going to hit a point where the Age of Legends and all of the stuff which is iconic for the Shadow Rising, which makes it my favorite book, will directly coincide with what these films could be.
Are depicting,
And do we treat it then as if it is a portal stone multiverse aspect. And
I
we
mean,
look
yeah,
at it
that's a really good viewpoint. There's a really easy way to view this as a fan and just be like, well, it's not connected. It's similar, but it's not the same. It's not this Age of Legends. It's a different Age of Legends or whatever. That's interesting takeaway.
Next cycle of the turn, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Right,
just-
and we now have Marvel films where I've seen, I don't know how many Spider-Man. I've seen a couple Batman. I've seen a couple
Yeah.
Superman.
It's just a reboot. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So we all, just kind of put belief in our pockets and say we're just strap in and hopefully it's fun. I guess
It's a missed opportunity to make them connected, though.
Well,
Coherency is stupid.
Let's respond to Jam real quick. Jam McElwain, I'm loving your name.
McElwain.
What? Is that
McElwain.
McGowan?
Jam.
All right, so such a terrible mistake to make. Separating cast will ruin story continuity. I totally agree. It might have an entirely different aesthetic. One has almost $1 billion budget. The other one has Ava Longoria. So
And a writer. Well, this writer has worked for a couple of the Marvel movies.
He did
has
Thor.
done Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all right, so I mean,
Which Thor did he do?
The
Thor.
first one, I think.
doesn't matter. I mean, are
it matters.
we holding up
it
Thor as something we're stoked that he wrote? I don't
No,
know
I think
that-
it's the opposite. Yeah.
right, he
And
could
I
have
want-
written Dark World, and
and
then
I
we
wanna-
could have been
yeah.
terrified.
I wanted us to chat this too. Like everyone, let me know if you watched any of these movies this man has written for. I don't watch these movies. Did that make you excited? Is the fact that he wrote Thor and one of those Marvel movies?
Yeah, X-Men
Class.
First Class,
Okay.
which I personally enjoy.
One of the better X-Men movies.
I like that one.
Yeah, it was good.
But
Okay.
there is one thing that
Please
Go ahead.
for
Go
it.
ahead.
there is one thing you mentioned earlier that we wouldn't have got to Sony and Amazon doing the Wheel of Time if it hadn't been for Red Eagle. And there is one quote from the same article where we've seen the train wrecks of quote 1 and 3, which do resonate with me. And it's the one thing where shock horror, I do agree with Red Eagle, because they do also agree with what Rafe has said all along. And if you want to load up quote 2, guys, I'll read it.
Oh, are we?
Oh,
Look at
beautiful.
this.
Yeah. So in the same article, they say, I know we need to be faithful to the spirit of Jordan's original writings, but much as film has certain advantages over written text, it also has its limitations. One of these important limitations is length. Therefore, I know at the outset that I'm not going to be able to satisfy the fan that wants to see every event, minor plot line, and character from the novel fully portrayed in the movie. This is a goal that no filmmaker could possibly meet. However, I think what is important is that we know who the main characters are, how they develop from humble but happy beginnings, how they are tested by events outside of their control, and how they develop the inchoate talents that will eventually make each one them, God, this guy wrote awfully, powerful opponents of the Dark One. And this is something which Rafe has always said at the beginning, is that we will never be able to get a pure adaptation of the books. And it's nice to see that even back then, Red Eagle understood this, and they were telling us what Rafe is reiterating a decade later when we actually look to something which is going to be good.
Well, okay, was he speaking at Mediocre Con?
He was speaking at Jordan Con, which is shocking.
Because obviously
Jordan Con was
there's how many speaking characters are there? Like 10,000. There's 10,000 named characters. There's 2,000 speaking characters or something. Yeah, obviously you got to cut some of that down. Yeah, we got it. But to say we're just going to emphasize the main characters might be misguided. There's a lot of. I mean, so if we just follow the Emmons, and no, Ryan, this is because I have a funky nose. I'm saying Emmons, but it just Edmonds. It's just I'm not saying the D.
I tried to give you an out by saying you're saying
No, it just
Jesus.
no.
All right, so-
It's embrace my speech impediment.
This is an amazing. Oh, I embrace everything about you, bro. This is Sean. He says Zach Stentz co-wrote these things with Ashley Edward Miller, which is I can't go with like 3 first names like that. Who doesn't appear to be attached to this project. So we don't know what ZS's writing ability as a solo writer is yet. That's an amazing point, Chauncey. Maybe they are taking a bigger gamble on it, which might either add weight to the idea that they don't really believe that this is going to go all the way.
Well, to Jono's point, I mean, like, it's a draft of a script or a treatment. Like, they could fire him, bring on other writers, like, fire them, bring on another writer. Like, that happens all the time. That's
so. I mean,
he's
so
not the end all be all name on this, and I'm sure they'll have more writers.
Have another one.
All right, here it is.
Edmund?
It's coming.
Edmundsfield?
No, that's amazing.
All right, so how did this become a thing, Ryan?
I'm happy it is.
I blame Sinan, and I love Sinan, and I blame Sinan. Sinan. Just sitting here sinning.
Jesus.
So who's Bailey Zane going to play in the show, and will that make sense when he's playing Ishmael in these movies?
So there's Joe,
I mean, Elon Mora, whatever.
Elon Moron Tedronai. There's big
Yeah, there you
theories,
go.
obviously, that the Wheel of Time, that the Age of Legends is based kind of like a world just after us, right, in present day.
Mhm.
So why can't it just be Billy Zane forever? Billy Zane is Billy Zane. If there's no...
Yes.
Yeah.
Infinite
Yes.
Zane.
Yeah. I mean,
Infinite Zane.
on some level, though, like the movie will have like a people live streaming and talking about the movie, about people live streaming and talking about the movie.
Yeah.
All right, so Brent Weber
Right,
says,
so real fast. So Ryan,
shut
before
up,
we
Brett.
move on, wouldn't it be great if we had Billy Fane?
Billy.
Yes, it
All right,
was.
see, Ryan.
That's
All
it.
right. Thanks for
Billy
waiting.
Fane. All right. Brent Weber says, I imagine Amazon will partner for the movie if script is good and season 1 does good. I also had the same premonition. Like,
No, Amazon knows season 1 is good, or they wouldn't have greenlit season 2. They've seen season 1. They know that.
Bold statement from Joe. I like it.
Well, no, but the other point
Well,
is,
they
though,
think
like,
it's good.
if the movie script is good, right? So, like, Amazon, I believe, will not, in my opinion, like, if you just follow Amazon's business model, why would they allow anyone to do this? They will just buy them out. They'll offer them
Yeah, that's pretty much
an offer they can't refuse, and they will just say,
The horse.
These movies are ours. Thank you.
Oh, it's a money grab, just like Winter's Dragon.
And I believe that it's a brilliant move for this weird company to, like, kind of
Sure.
It feels almost like you see some sort of TMZ or like football players who want out of their contract, so they start like acting out. Like, it seems like they're like getting attention, and they are like going to in the end just basically get bought out, and we won't hear from them
they
again.
slide their dicks into the weirdest spots, and somehow it worked.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah. Again, everything we said. I
So
am not responsible.
what kind of investment did they make in getting this writer? How much is like a treatment like this cost?
I don't know. I mean, look, I guess if you make the script, you're the writer for the script, and the movie's made, you probably get royalties.
I bet he just has a standard cost, and it's not a lot.
Okay.
That can work too.
So this could happen all over the place where people are like, yeah, give me a sample and we'll see. Yeah, and we're just overreacting for nothing.
Very well could be. I'm in the middle of reading a book on like James Bond, like the weird scripts that were written and never got done. And like, there's like half a dozen treatments for like every movie, and like a bunch of them they tear up and then they like cut the fuck out of for the next movie and like use pieces of it. And that's when there's similar to this source material already for the the novels of what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, again, this may be a whole lot to do about nothing, but let's get drunk and talk about it.
Guys, don't forget. 3 googly eyes.
Three.
Sarah gave this
there's 3 movies. 3 movies.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
I like to think that later this month, Jeff Bezos is going to be up in space with his brother, floating around, and he's like, "Should I invest in this fucking movie?" Yeah,
It's a trilogy of googly eyes.
From a business perspective, we've also got to think Amazon have literally just bought MGM. Like, they bought them outright. So
Yeah.
Amazon, if the show is going to be as big as we all think and hope it is going to be, and it will surpass Game of Thrones on the basis that there is actually an ending to this Wheel of Time. They have a film studio that they can just go, yeah, if we take it, we'll put it under MGM, and it's out there. We can see it on the screens as well as on Amazon Prime, perhaps.
Wow, that's
Adam,
news.
Joe and I we were talking about an article that we found this morning about like the Jordan Studio, which I think he alluded to earlier. They've got some big fucking, like, it used to be a truck plant in the middle of.
Oh yeah, they have tons of space. It's huge.
It's a huge and it's got like apparently just hundreds of thousands of square feet for the Wheel of Time there.
Not including like backlot stuff and sets they build, and so, I mean, like, clearly they have infrastructure in place for not only season 1 but season 2, and like.
But to your point, Adam, they have MGM too, so now they can just do it wherever the fuck they want without having to travel so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just to be a bizarre, epic, huge thing for Red Eagle Entertainment.
On a side note, so in Detroit, there's the MGM Casino. Is that going to become the Amazon Casino?
Yes.
All right.
It's going to be called Bezos.
Yeah, Bezos. JB.
Bezos betting, yeah.
It's gonna be one of those the letters will merge to form something that like
Casino.
like everyone's doing these days.
Yeah.
All right, so we have, to further discussion and to create some of the emotional tension that I'm feeling, thanks to Tywin's story, here are some quotes from various interviews. Some of them are direct, and some of them are paraphrased. But these are quotes about Robert Jordan and Brandon Satin, talking about what their feeling is about an adaptation. So
Hey, Ryan, can I be Draken?
What's that?
Can I be Draken?
Go for it. All right, so interview October 21st.
Ooh, on AOL chat. Fuck
Yeah. You have mail. Verbatim.
I was wondering if you will ever write a book based on the Age of Legends.
No.
Ryan, that was good. That was good.
Thank
I feel
you,
good about
you.
that take.
Thank you. Here's quote number 2. All right, November 21st, 1998. The T-Pod signing. All right, so Robert Jordan, on the subject of a story set in the Age of Legends, maybe
Words.
slip. Most probably not. The Age of Legends was entirely too boring to write about up until the time it became too interesting. And at that point, it became too gloomy because it was a long, drawn-out apocalypse. So
Nice.
again, not into this idea. All right, another one. Robert Jordan. He kept open the possibilities of doing a book set in the Fourth Age after the events of Wheel of Time had become myth, but refused to do a prequel or a sequel. When asked about doing a series on the Age of Legends, he said that before the bore, the Age of Legends was too dull, and by the end of the Wheel of Time, we will know enough about the Age of Legends. After the bore, that a book about it would have nothing new to say. Nothing new. Continuing on.
5.
Dan, read the question.
Will he write any stories about the Age of Legends?
No. All right. This is paraphrased.
Just moving on. No.
Dan, read the question.
It's the same dude every time. Did you have the intention to explore what happened before the breaking of the world?
Robert Jordan? No. Anything I would do there would have a sense of inevitability. You wouldn't know what's going to happen. That's an amazing point. I really like this one.
Yeah, but people still read the Bible. They know what happens.
Yeah, it's the Dark Lord breaks loose, right? And then Voldemort tries to get Harry to join him, and then what else happens?
All right, Jono,
The seven samurai get together.
Jono, can you be Bruce?
I don't remember Samurai in the
Bruce, they call me.
I do remember
First
Hermione
off,
Granger.
I'd love more interest. Oh, I guess this is probably just his screen name, Bruce, because it's a new spelling for me. Do you want the whiny voice or?
Whatever, embody your inner Bruce.
I mean, the guy's name is Bruce. Someone asked about prequels or books from the Age of Legends.
He said that there were no prequels. All right, so
You embraced your Bruce too, Ryan.
I did. So here we go. Like,
Should've said no.
Because Bruce sounds like Moose, and everyone knows a Moose sounds like this.
I said no.
so clearly, Robert Jordan's camp is not into this. They're not into going back. They're not into going sideways. They might have been interested in going forward. Fourth
I mean, I
age.
think he summed it up really well in that one
No.
answer when he was like, "It's inevitable. You know what's going to happen. It's inevitable, and we all know what's happening there." Like, and yeah, you can tell stories within that area, but
You know, if it wasn't for the Titanic, or for Billy Zane, I would have gone to see the Titanic because I knew it was going to sink. But Billy Zane was there to bring me in.
but Billy Zane was there.
Yeah.
He was,
right,
he was
no, Billy
chasing
Zane,
after an
man.
Irishman with a gun.
You just changed me. I'm in. Billy Zane's there.
But also, think about the tonal differences that we're going to have. He talks about the Age of Legends and the War of the Shadow basically being a long, drawn-out apocalypse. We'll be going from high fantasy to basically sci-fi, post-apocalyptic nightmare with, you know, basically a version of the devil trying to cause havoc on the world. It's a completely different tonal shift. And is that going to disorientate people that are watching the show for the first time to then think, oh, there's a prequel series, and then it's going to be like sci-fi, and it's just like, what the fuck? We've got energy projectile weapons in shot glances, and now we're stuck to power wrought swords as like the height
They're
of
just going to
technology.
be hanging out singing with Tree Brothers. We're not going to fight. Nothing's going to happen. And then the trilogy will end with they open up the boar, and then that's all we see.
And then
I
Nomesta will
want
show
3
up and
movies
he's
of pure boredom, and then at the very end, I want the boar to open up, and then that's it.
right. The Green Man shows up and they're like, not until the 3rd movie. Get back in. It's like, all right.
No.
We'll go.
Yep, there he is.
Look at
Right.
that smile. Really sad.
now-
He looks like the guy from NCIS.
Oh, yeah. I've
You
never
can-
seen that show, but they show it plenty of times
Right,
for every
right.
fucking TV channel.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's shift it. Let's shift the tone a little bit because this is the way the Leaf, and Chauncey has a good point. We it's fun to talk crap, but we are trying to put on a show here, guys. So here we have. My opinion is, if it's amazing, I'm gonna love it. And
Yeah.
Regardless of all the backstory, the backstabbing, the business, the suing, whether or not Sarah's a part of it, whether or not Harriet likes it, if I'm sitting there and I'm blown away or I'm impressed, I'm going to be impressed.
Yeah, we're all going to watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no doubt.
And hopefully it's good. I don't want it to be bad.
No, we don't want
You know, like it's not. I don't think anyone wants it to be bad. We're all just worried about it.
Yeah,
Because it's not
lucrative
connected
for
to the
everyone.
Amazon show, and we're like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing? You didn't cast 2 Lanfears, 2 Ishmaels? What are we doing?
There's a point which Chauncey just made. Does it matter at this point what Robert Jordan wanted? Which I think is a fair point to discuss because
his recent interviews. He hasn't said very much. Yeah.
He's been pretty silent on the issue.
I'm very sorry, Harriet.
No word back from Robert Jordan yet.
I gotta go. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
John nailed it. We're done.
Yeah. We should just hit end right now.
Joe had dinner with Alan last week. That's what we do.
I did.
Shitbag people.
I mean, well, they didn't say anything, so they didn't know either.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Brent, I agree with you. I think I want to see. I personally want to see all of it. Like I personally wanted to see everything from Game of Thrones. I got so excited before it turned to shit. They were still talking about spinoffs, and I'm just worried. I think we are all sitting here collectively feeling like protective of something we cherish. So. And when we feel like shenanigans are being worked around, like it gets a little hard to super get behind it. I think it goes without saying that we will if it earns our kind of earns.
If
our
it
love.
earns the.
So here's
yeah.
the thing: we're all going off the presumption that we're going to enjoy the show. and that's going to be good. Like, and I'm not saying it's not going to be. I'm just saying, like, we're all kind of working off this assumption that, like, the show is doing it right and that these movies might fuck it up. So, like, but we haven't seen anything from the show yet, aside from, like, little tiny 1-second clips. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a safe assumption, I would say, but it's still an assumption. So, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to say, like, jump on it and be like, these movies are going to suck. They're not connected to the show in any way, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we don't know what the show is going to be yet. So
I think
I have high hopes, and I think everyone does, but at the same time, it could be bad.
The one thing that Red Eagle really has...
The movies are better than the show.
What if? It's like, without like sounding kind of dickish, is by delaying so long, they've made the technology possible to kind of keep up, right? Can you imagine watching this, like some of this shit like 15 years ago when they first kind of got the options or whatever, like with just the level of like CGI, which obviously isn't what we want to lean on. But at the very least, by waiting this long, they've kind of allowed for mega budgets to be something that happens in TV shows. So I suppose, hats off to them for that.
We do have to remember that NBC initially chose this optioned this as a mini-series in 2000. Like, it was going to be by the same creators that did Merlin. And Jordan was a big fan of that. Mm-hmm. Like, he was all for that back in the day. So that could have been what we got initially. It may have still been better than Winter Dragon, but it won't be as good as what would now be the reboot of The Wheel of Time. I think while we may all have concerns over Red Eagle, and I think that's probably something which a lot of the fandom do have. And I remember watching Winter Dragon a few days after it came out, and I had very mixed opinions. We are still all, as a community, going to be putting so much money in their pockets when we buy the T-shirts, the Funko Pops. Everyone is going to be fighting for their Funko Pop, which is going to be the Rand in a box, which will just be 2 eyes and then just wood paneling either side.
Wait, is that like a Pez dispenser? Like, what's a Funko box? Like, I'm trying to...
No, Funko, it's like those, those little figurines.
It's those big-headed, like, beady-eyed...
Nice. All right.
I have one of Ice Cube in that picture I sent of my shoes. They're right next to my shoes, right? If you look at that picture, it's a Funko Pop.
Got it. Now I know. Go on.
Okay.
we have concerns over how they've treated it on a show aspect, but we are still going to be funding their lifestyles for the rest of their lives because the show is inevitably going to do well.
Yeah.
So I agree that the show should do fantastically, and I think that a trilogy might be kind of long for the Age of Legends. I'm trying to picture exactly. So I'm trying to picture it in my head. It would be a heavy character study. It would be the evolution of people. But with their own ideas, deciding to go to the Dark One.
But if you look at the Hollywood Reporter alert, it kind of pulls out saying that the Aes Sedai are going to be the last hope in establishing under the White Tower, which goes to show that they don't understand the source material, because the White Tower isn't formed initially.
The Aes Sedai did try to hold everything together.
But no, I mean, he's right.
There wasn't a White Tower,
though. For another 100 years.
There wasn't even a White Tower.
Yeah, it's 100 years after the sealing.
Yeah.
The White Tower wasn't formed until 47.
The White Tower bit. Right.
Yeah, like,
but there were still Aes Sedai.
Oh yeah, we will still.
That's all I was saying. I'm sorry.
Like, I would love to see Latcha Decime and the Fateful Concord trying to hold it together, and I want to see the establishment of Roydian. I want to see
that would be cool.
Celinda and the rest of those but it's I've lost my train of thought.
We'll see bits of that Adam, when Rand goes into the crystal columns, like you were saying. So that's all I want from that, almost, in a way. Like, I don't want to see the establishment of Rudian, because I want to see that revealed in the show when it's supposed to be revealed in the show. It's like, how much are they going to show us before we're supposed to know about something? like the Choden Cal or something.
Great point.
But Jono,
Great
if you had the option to see on screen the meeting of the Forsaken, the sealing of the Boar, the capturing of the Dark One, wouldn't you want to?
The answer is always yes, and like that's one of the things. Like all this. Like I don't really have like a negative disposition here on the idea of it, other than just like timing seems weird and kind of seems premature. But like, whatever. I there's names attached that doesn't mean much, right? It's very early in the infancy. It seems like. The point is, the more twat we see, the better, and that's like just really like how I feel. Just in general.
Also, Dan, I think you're way off. It's not going to be a character study. It's going to be like Fast and Furious, but in the Age of Legends, they're going to be flying their Joe cars, smashing into stuff, pulling safes out of buildings. It's going to be amazing. The Rock's going to be in it.
The Rock. It's all about family.
I'm going home.
I think this is a strong point, and I want to address it. Chauncey's like, there's a little back and forth, and she says, at what point do we abandon our vigil at Jordan's authorial intent? When is it okay to play around with the world he created? And
when Harriet's not around anymore, that's the answer to that question.
My take is this: that
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like when his direct heir to the Wheel of Time is no longer with us, and whoever inherits that from her starts messing with shit and starts making new books and stuff, go whatever. I mean, do what you think is right.
This is already against this.
Harriet's following what he believes, and that's what matters, I think, right now.
Brandon did change his stuff, but it was under her approval and watchful eye. But and she is a co-creator as well, so that's a very good point, Joe.
Yeah. But Jordan didn't want these movies, it sounds like, to exist. Well, there's at least being written right now because what was his answer? I think it was one word. No. So, I mean,
in Spanish and English.
Well, hold on. Was the question regarding film adaptations or was it regarding books?
Well, no, it was regarding books. But his intent was there clearly that the story wouldn't be good.
And Jordan was very outspoken. He hated fan fiction. The only story which he was particularly fond of was the Sherlock Holmes solving who killed Asmodean. And I remember seeing it on Dragon Mount, I'm sure, about the fact that was actually something he was like, okay, he was impressed because they solved it. But he hated fan fiction. He did not want anyone playing around in his sandbox, to the point where he tongue-in-cheek used to say that, if people did, then it was in his contract that he would be presented with their kneecaps from something that I read online. So
dark.
It is, but it's the fact that this is, for all intent and purposes, fan fiction. And that is something that we need to look at it. If Harriet's not involved, and if Team Jordan, so Maria and Alan, aren't involved in this, that is all that it can be, is fan fiction and an adaptation, a turning of the wheel, which we don't have to acknowledge if needs be. Like, we don't have to acknowledge it's a TV show.
All right.
Oh,
that was really well said.
Yeah, very well
there
said.
Was a comment from Chauncey. Technically speaking, all of Brandon Sanderson's work is fan fiction.
Sanctioned fan fiction.
Well, yeah, it was Harriet that chose Brandon to
but also
the series,
sanctioned by Harriet specifically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Sean, I would
he's
have
also
to
famously said if he died before the end of the books, he wouldn't want someone to finish it. So I mean,
and then he decided opposite. Yeah.
So it's one of those where
he's not dead.
I don't think it's, if we were just talking about any random show and talking about like the business machinations of who's producing what and who's got the rights of anything else, this would be weird. We would be like, why are we in the weeds of this? Like, what's going on? I'm just trying to imagine, just pick a show, like, whatever, and like all of a sudden, like, I'm like studying these things. I don't think we're making, just trying to like create like a conflict where it's not there, or trying to create drama where it's not there. We have an emotional connection to these people. They've worked hard to create that with us. They engage with us. They've, fucking Joe and Jono have been to Robert Jordan's house. So, which is, God damn you. But like,
Get off my lawn.
I don't. They took it. They were like,
It did feel like we weren't supposed to be there. To be fair.
Yeah.
Well, you camped out for a month, and you started to smell really
Yeah,
bad.
and eventually they let us in. It was
They
fine.
let us in to call the cops on us. Yeah.
There was that guy at gunpoint, like holding us back, though. But we overpowered him quickly. You know, it wasn't that hard.
So I think we all understand that things that are going to come out are literally not going to be, Robert Jordan's words and Robert Jordan's thoughts. All I hope is that whatever they do, they are consistent within the rules of his world. And if that is upheld, anybody making any content, I'm going to like it or dislike it. But if it's not following the rules as I understand it, I will have a very hard time liking it at all. So I think that's kind of my red line. I think that it's an amazing world, and there's so much to explore in it, and I'm happy to see like geniuses go to town, and the amount of money that's being put into this, it's astronomical. So the product is going to be something. It will be something. I don't think they're phoning this in any way. So
no, but let's if I can just step back again to what Adam had mentioned about Robert Jordan really did like Merlin, and I don't know if any of you guys ever watched Merlin. What's so funny?
No, we're agreeing.
Oh, he liked that show.
Wait.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a great show.
Effects
Did you
to
see the
Winter
special
Dragon.
effects in that? So good.
I think it was more a character study. It was Merlin and Arthur in younger times.
In their cars, hitting the NOS button, flying past.
They were
everyone,
like,
just
hey,
turning around, drifting.
Camelot
It was
drift.
crazy.
Yeah.
hey, turn off your find a phone. We're going deep.
All right. Art Anastasia says money doesn't guarantee genius, and that's a strong point.
I completely agree with that. However, when you one of the best things I heard from somebody that I'm not allowed to talk about was like that the budget of the show back in the day was like a certain amount of money, and I was like, oh wow, that's really great, because that's like on par with the end of Game of Thrones, because that's the one thing you worry about is like, if they don't have the budget to make a Trolloc look real, then it's not going to be a good show, and you need that right away.
Yeah.
So like the fact that like their budget going into the first season was matching Game of Thrones, that's a good thing. Whether or not it's a well-told story, who knows? But it's the same for these movies. A big budget does matter. It means production value. It means special effects are going to look good. It means they can hire the right people, the right actors to do the right jobs, and make
Eva
it good.
Longoria.
So yeah, it doesn't guarantee genius, but at the same time, it helps a lot.
Eva
and it gets shit
Longoria.
made properly. You mean Lanfear?
Hey, let's all welcome Dave the Man.
What up, Dave the Man?
Just stumbled in this. Why are there Muppets?
Well,
Why?
Yeah. Hey,
I think they're talking about the three of us, and then you.
I mean, why the muscles, Dave? Why the no sleeves? Why anything? You know?
We are trying to figure this all out. It's come follow the journey of our Why Muppets? Because it's fucking funny.
Why am I wearing a tie? What? Right? Because I take this shit seriously.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. Rajesh Shah. What's up, con goers?
Rajesh. Good to see you, my friend.
Non-con
He said non-con goers.
Assuming.
Joe and I will be there tomorrow.
You lucky bastards.
We're over there.
Yeah,
You know,
I got such hard FOMO.
One of our buddies is texting me earlier, like, "Hey, are you going to be at the hotel? I need to go get some booze." And I was like, "Tomorrow, man." All right. Because usually we're there early, just
Thursday,
drunk, even before it starts.
Let's do the con dinner with people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you delayed. Be honest, you delayed your trip so you could be on our show, and I really appreciate it.
It has
trip is
nothing
a
to
20-minute
do
drive?
with the fact that I have a 2-year-old and babies and the fact that it's COVID still sort of weirdly. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just for this show.
For the show. Why are there
Dedication to
Muppets,
this show?
What? Yeah,
They're
come
not
on,
puppets.
man.
They're people.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about
Down
you.
to them like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
Tylen and Tolstoy and Joe.
Because they can't all be Fraggles.
I tried. It didn't work.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, we were gonna be Muppets, but we got letters from lawyers, so we're just fucking puppets. Sorry, like we can't. We're more skilled than the Muppets, but we just they are like Amazon. They own all the fucking rights.
I mean, it's not always grown men. Sometimes it's women.
All right, all right, yeah, exactly. Oh, and in betweeners, man, we're open to everything.
Yeah, grown people,
grown persons, entities, creeples,
cast.
Yeah.
Past and present, and future peoples. All right, guys, we're gonna take a 10-minute break. We're gonna listen to some music.
When we come back, let's talk. All right, so let's say that the movie series is going on. Let's come up with a couple scenes that we really want to see on screen, if we can.
Scenes that you don't get to see, like different POVs, things that happen in the eye of the world that you want to see that maybe we didn't get to read about. That's going to be our fun prompt. Everyone in chat, get your answers ready and stick around. We are having a great time. We're going to do this just a little bit longer. All right. Are we ready? Everyone, mute your mics if you can.
Oh, yeah, word.
Word. All right.
Please don't be dead!
More with that.
But I'm capricious, I'm the champion! I'm capricious, I'm the champion!
I'm the champion! Alright, we are gathering. We are gathering together.
Dearly beloved.
Let's get this tavern going. Alright, so as we wait for our friends to gather, I want to remind everybody.
The tavern got a little loud.
I know. Hey, everyone!
Hey, turn it down, guys.
God,
Guys,
jeez.
we're doing a video here. All
Doing
right,
a
thanks.
PS.
All right, thanks.
Talking to them. I'm trying to connect emotionally with my fans.
Bring us all in, right?
I'm playing. All right, here we go.
There
That was my moment, Dan.
Right. That was your moment. No, you look good. You look good.
I feel good.
You are good.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone.
Oh, hey,
Thanks for
boys.
hanging out. That was Meat Pizza Sandwich. That was Ryan's old band from 2000 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah.
It's from the odds.
Yeah, it might be from the odds. Yeah, Ryan on bass, Tim on guitar, Greg on drums.
Yes. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. All right, everyone, remember we have a Patreon. If you want to support this amazing content, you want to reach out to us through Patreon. That's the best way to support the Way of the Leaf. It's not a lot. But we give a lot for a little. Come on.
You should see how much I bleed by the end of a show. It's a gross amount.
What? You know, kid, come on.
Yeah, guys, can you turn it down just a little bit more? Hey.
All right.
That sounds good. Oh, thank you.
All right, so we had a prompt, and you guys have been thinking about it for over 10 minutes.
Yeah. No excuses.
Oh,
We're
we're
gonna-
supposed to think about it.
We're going to see season 1, and I want to know, what scene are you most excited to see? I want to see the scene, and I want to see the POV you want the scene to be. experienced from.
Paint the picture. Paint the story in my head, would you?
All right, who wants to go first? Any takers?
I mean, Tolstoy said he was going to go first.
All right, Adam.
Are we talking season 1 or are we talking the movies?
We're talking.
Just the movies.
Yeah.
The movies.
The Age of Legends.
Well, he did say season 1, but he meant movie 1.
I did say season 1.
Yeah, Tolstoy's correct as always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tolstoy, go on. Age of Legends.
The one scene which always resonated most with me that we never see is the fall of Paradisen. So when you've got the Deshane ringing the city while Jarek Mondoran is killing them one by one so that they can allow the Aes Sedai and the citizens of the city to escape. That to me brings a personal level down to it of these people that are sacrificing themselves for people that they don't know purely because that is what they believe in.
True battle, Aja.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. I like. Yeah. The Paradisen. That. Yeah. I want to see what this whole thing is.
And
too.
there are two of them, right? There are
No, there's the city, and then there's the university that's floating.
I like it way too much.
It's the Kolam Dan and the
That was
Sharon.
a classic Jono joke, Ryan. Good job.
It's like took me out. Yeah.
Oh, man.
My bad. Go on.
Go ahead, Jono.
Let's just move on to Jono. What do you want to see, buddy?
I mean, it's gonna sound like a dumb answer. The answer, kind of like what Talon's Toy said. What Adam said. pretty much fucking anything, right? Like any of this is bonus content. And that's kind of how I felt about any of the books ending. Is that Robert Jordan died after writing 11 of my favorite books of all time. The fact that there were somehow 3 more that brought the series conclusion, incredible. So again, obviously cautiously, disturbingly concerned, but optimistic about what happens for the series. I have the same feeling for the movies. Anything is going to be a bonus as long as they don't fuck it up too much. I'm sure it won't match my thoughts, but as long as they don't fuck it up, all's good enough.
Are you going to judge it like you judge any other show, or is it going to?
Oh no, much harsher.
Harsher, or like with a more exacting knife.
Yeah, but I also am a horrible critic, so I'm just not a good critic. So it's not like it's going to be that harsh of a. I didn't really like that tone. If there's a couple of good dick jokes or something like that, a thumbs up rating from me.
Matt'll make that happen.
And here's something that we should probably acknowledge is the influence that Game of Thrones has had on this guy from NCIS.
Yeah. While he's taking an enormous and satisfactory shit.
No, Game of Thrones has had it's really intangible, just the effect that it had on accepting a fantasy world into viewership. And
absolutely, yeah.
And they are doing a prequel series as well, based on the Targaryens. I think about 200 years before Game of Thrones happens. It's supposed to be the Targaryens and all that stuff that happened.
It's just the Blackfire Rebellion, or the Dance Dragons.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so we do have a precedent of a studio saying, "Yeah, tell us a story that we already know," because we still want to give us some of this stuff. And I really liked your description of it as bonus content, Jono. I'm the type of guy who, in a video game, I need to do every fucking side quest. I need to do everything. And so if they give me something, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna consume anything they give me.
Yeah.
An argument for this, though, would be that George R.R. Martin has written about the Dance of Dragons. He wrote Fire and Blood. He has written copious amounts about everything which has happened before A Game of Thrones, but hasn't managed to finish book 6 to the consternation of everyone. So if we're going with the purists who are in the chat, who are out there that agree with Jordan not liking fan fiction, the films would be wrong, but the prequel series for Game of Thrones is still perfectly canon because George R.R. Martin has written the events around this.
Fair enough, yes. However, he was a part of a series that advanced beyond Book 5 of A Song of Ice and Fire, and we assume that it is canonical, question mark? Who knows?
We should also mention Adam's love of fanfic, and so he comes at it with a very big bias here.
I do.
All right.
I remember Game of Thrones being announced, and I was like, why the fuck are they making this and not Wheel of Time? That series isn't even done. At least Wheel of Time is close.
Well, and here's the other point I wanted to make is that Harry Potter started like 4 or 5 years after the first book. The Game of Thrones started 10 or 15 years after the first book. Dune, we had a Dune series. We had there's a lot of series that have been made onto screen much quicker than this, and that's one of the reasons why I get a little trepidatious about Red Eagle. iWatt. Hey guys, check out your Apple Store for iWatt.
That's so weird. That's such the weirdest thing.
Shouldn't it be iTwat still?
iTwat, yeah.
Yeah, I think it still should be iTwat, yeah.
Hey, you cross the I's and dot the T's, and it's a iTwat. There is no reason that competency should not have allowed this to already have occurred.
I mean, it's a huge, obvious, TV-wise, Game of Thrones is the definition of epic fantasy, even if it was kind of, it got more imperfect as it continued. This is 14 fucking books, plus apparently 3 movies. That's, no matter how you fucking spin it, unless you do a miniseries like Merlin, That's really tough to really pitch and not fuck up.
Just like Merlin.
Yeah. Never even seen it, so I apologize for any.
I haven't seen it either. If anyone's a fan of that show, I apologize.
It was
Cute.
so
No,
guys,
it was a cute show.
Clearly, are you not seeing? Clearly, are you not seeing that this is organically growing into something where we need to live react to Merlin?
Clearly, yeah.
We don't know what we're gonna do next, guys.
We've never seen it, so
found
it'll be real reactions.
Because I literally don't even know what you're fucking talking about.
I like it.
I don't even know the reference at all.
Yeah. All right, it's a series in which it's young King Arthur. He's like a prince, and he has his buddy named Merlin. And the Prince Arthur gets into mischief, but Merlin just kind of uses his magic, but doesn't want anyone to know he's magic. And it's hilarity ensues.
He's got a lightning bolt scar. Voldemort's there.
Like Sam Neill of Jurassic Park is in it. Like I think Helena Bonham Carter is in it as well. So the cast is somewhat around 20 years
Bellatrix
ago.
Lestrange.
Yeah.
Yes, she does.
I mean, in Merlin.
In Merlin, she plays Bellatrix.
He plays Bellatrix in every movie. Hey, did you ever see Fight Club? His girlfriend was Bellatrix Lestrange. Yeah.
Brad Pitt's just banging her while she's just laughing about killing Sirius Black. Very odd sex scene.
She was going to all these like weird self-help like.
Then she just whips a knife into a little goblin guy. It was crazy.
That's no way to describe Ed Norton.
What do you guys think of this logo?
I don't like this one. I like when it's spelled out. I don't like the WT thing. The snake that is actually looking a little bit more like a dragon. I love.
Yes.
I love the swirling patterns. I love that it's not really like a snake. Like that part is amazing. When it's spelled out, great. The WT thing, I don't know. I don't love it.
I like the.
I understand why it exists.
I agree. I agree with you. I like the font a lot.
Yeah, no, that you see that looks cool.
That looks great. Yeah.
Plus, that has the swirl of the snake going. Also, how do you feel about their not including the wheel? And it's just the snake going as a wheel, basically.
Well, I mean, to be honest, this is kind of this might be a fun point of discussion after we get through what scene do we want to see. But yes, what else? I feel like not including the wheel is probably a way of trying to simplify things, or maybe because I always felt the wheel was very confusing, and then as I got involved in the Wheeltown community, I learn all these quotes, and I read that Jordan says that the wheel should be considered like the most advanced superhuman computer system, and so maybe they want to go more on that way, and maybe they're actually going to make this more sci-fi.
Ooh, that's going to be one shit show if they do that.
Hell yeah, it would.
So I wondered. I mean, this shit is so complicated that people are still arguing about it, and I don't believe that the television audience can stomach that kind of complexity, and so I do believe that they're gonna have to like dumb some of this shit down. So maybe they're gonna be like, they're gonna say the wheel or the wheel wheeze, and they're gonna keep saying that, but then it's gonna be somehow known that it's not really a wheel.
Yeah, I think as long as you just say, time is circular, it just repeats. That's good enough for the wheel adage, and you just kind of, you fuck it. You don't need to say the 7 spokes of each one, that kind of thing.
Well, them changing the wheel and snake logo isn't crazy to me at all. I enjoy what they did. I thought that was a really smart way of doing it. I don't like the WT thing, but,
What if they're a second P?
The snake was always a part of the logo.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. I mean, and if we think about it, each turning of the age is pretty much predicated by the rebirth of the dragon. So it is the dragon's wheel. So sure.
It's also, I think, showing potentially more of the emphasis on the Aes Sedai. And I think we will see much more of a female emphasis through the series. So by having the main symbol of the series being the symbol of the Aes Sedai, I think it will kind of reinforce that as well, potentially.
Here we go, real quick.
I like that.
Chancellor says, I personally think Grendel's asexual. Why else would she go to great lengths to appear hypersexual? I think she's more what you can consider demisexual, which means you are not attracted to someone unless you have a deep emotional connection to them.
Yeah,
You remember her Age of Legends. Her Age of Legends, like she was like a known ascetic, right? So like to this point, like that she was like turned down all pleasures, flesh, food, whatever the fuck. Probably don't even take satisfactory dumps. Like just kind of.
Who does?
Not like Zach Stentz.
With the modern
would
diet.
not be a good writer for that person. But kind of turned it 180 degrees once she embraced the Dark One. I don't have an answer of whether or not she was actually is asexual. On the other hand, we learned, I think, was it Samarriage that can like torture someone to get you off. So
To death.
maybe
To
it's just
get me off or to get him off?
anyone, you especially though. Like so, I guess
Simeon
you know,
Edge.
yeah. Could you stand in a mirror and do that to yourself? And maybe she's just turned on all the time. Like legitimate question. Adam, have you written this?
No, this is something which I avoided. The whole domination band thing I thought was more of a wedding ring aspect to things, but I think it just got misinterpreted.
So, Adam, what scene would you really like to see if this movie comes to fruition?
I did answer this earlier, but I will go again.
Okay, well, yeah.
Joe, what scene would you like to see?
So, the destruction of Paradisen and the Deshane, I think, is an important scene that we need to see. I also think we need to have a better explanation of what the Eye of the World actually is, because Jordan was still very much in the infancy.
That's raw. Yeah, that's very raw.
And we can see that in the language with the Old Tongue. It doesn't fit linguistically with how we see it with the rest of the book. So how does pure Sidin actually get created? I think we need to have some sort of explanation whether or not that is 50 male Aes Sedai channeling through 50 female as some sort of filter, perhaps. But we
somehow removing the taint.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
they all
that
died, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we need to see something around that, I think.
Oh, so
as
maybe
to-
they were the filter and they just absorbed all the taint and gave the pure Sadin into the pool.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
That was
jerking
actually
pure,
serious.
just
Like a
jerking
colander.
pure Sidin out of them entirely. Yeah.
Oh, now we don't got to see that. Now we know.
Next scene. Yeah. I think
want to be the 9 rods of Dominion, and I want to know exactly what their
fuck they
crowns
were.
and how phallic they were
Oh, yeah.
Well,
involved.
Jordan said that
Or is it
these
just
were-
9 guys with boners?
No, I think it's like, hey,
Jordan
it's
said they're
Roddy.
like-
Hey, there's
they are-
Roderick. There's...
they're
Tolstoy,
regional
let-
governors.
Let Adam go.
Go ahead, Adam.
So I was digging through Theoryland earlier, getting those quotes. So yeah, the 9 rods were people. So
Yeah.
why we chose rods as a term of
They're
They
all named
said
Rod.
Probably.
yeah,
They're
it
all
is
named
They
just
just
that,
found, they
yeah.
went to the phone book,
Or a
looked
woman
up
with a
Rod.
giant dildo crown.
So it was Rod
We don't
Stewart,
know.
Rod Crusoe.
We don't know. And we don't kink shame here.
But I want to know. That's the
Yeah.
Just 9 woos, just giant dildo crowns, just walking up to Luz Therage, bowing
Yeah.
their head.
It's very tough to take them seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, just knowing, yeah. But they
I
were in
would-
charge.
I personally, the scene I want to see is Ilan Morin Tetranai entering the fucking hall and like.
Mic
So
drop.
yeah. Well, no, I'm also kind of seeing it like a what was it? The Show Me the Money movie.
Jerry Maguire?
Jerry Maguire, where he's like, "Who's coming with me? Who's with me?"
Oh, when he
Let's
announced
go."
that he's a
Oh,
dark
no.
friend?
Yeah. At the end, when he like gives his like reasoning for going to the Dark One.
He's carrying his boxes out to the elevator and just kind of comes back.
It would be interesting to see certain people's acceptance or turning to the dark.
rush! And he's got like two people walking with him, just making sure.
It's just his assistant.
No, he's leaving
Just one
quietly.
Drops his mug.
All right, that broke me.
We love you.
I do want to see the relationship between Luz and Demandred and Samael through the movies, because obviously Samael and Demandred were colleagues, friends of Luz Therin, to the point where they were almost as good as him. So we need to see that relationship and that animosity or envy.
Yeah, not.
Going through.
So
I hope we
that's a
get
really
a
good point.
Asmodean concert.
Also like that. Anything that, like, I think I would enjoy anything that adds weight to the relationships that the Forsaken feel towards Rand, and he doesn't get why they feel that way.
Yes.
You know, like anything that adds to that in any way would be interesting. Like Lanfear being like, fuck that blonde-haired lady. You know, like,
I'm trying.
Yeah. Or just,
I don't know what to do. I'm not Matt. Or Pat.
Well, and Joe, to that point, so like Harry Potter, I don't know why this is the second time we're going to have a party. But Harry Potter, they had it where his dad was kind of a bully and a dick to Snape. And I could see that Luz Therin was probably not the coolest dude to some of these people.
Listen, when you're really, really good at something, a certain amount of ego has to be involved.
Yeah.
Come on.
Big D energy.
Is that going to be the whole thing? It's like, so I think Demandred was interested in Ileana, if we're going by Max, right?
Yeah. So he doesn't do it. Honestly, you did it
Don't
better.
get me started.
Yeah. Billy Zane did it pretty well.
Like this.
Billy Zane did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Billy Zane, no complaints.
So understated.
Oh, Billy fucking Zane.
So understated.
Perfect.
She's not answering your texts. Huh.
But I think seeing Mayron's relationship with Luz, potentially in the first one, we see Mayron and Luz in an established relationship and being this almost power couple of the Aes Sedai of the age, to when he meets Elena Morel Dalasar, and it's kind of this whole, I don't know, I want to see a love triangle. I want to see him pick Elena, and that causes then the whole anger and the obsession that Mayron has with Luz. Like, there's so much backstory there which we don't get to see. It's very like stalkerish and obsessive in the books, but if there is genuine grounding behind it, I want to see Luz in love with Mayron until he meets Elena.
Until he realizes, I don't know if it's him meeting Ileana. I think I would assume, based on what's been written, that it's more of a, he realizes that she doesn't really love him. She just sees him as some sort of like equal. Yeah, like a power equal, you know? And and he's like, I want more from a relationship. I don't know.
I've never thought of it, but like, can you imagine obviously he's the most acclaimed man of his age, and she was right behind it. Can you imagine
he killed his whole family, Jono? Acclaim?
But a century, like a relationship between these two for at least a century, and then split up for some other chick. I mean, talk about like tabloid fucking fodder. Like, feel free to use whatever.
Are we talking about Brennifer Brangelina?
Pretty much.
Yes,
but more.
But you could potentially use the argument like she is just Mayron Erenal throughout the entire time. She never earns the third name.
Yeah.
And I think that's something which, again, could be looked at, is the whole concept of the third name, how it holds the power. You earn this through acclaim, and Mayron never gets this, and potentially using Luz as a way to try and obtain it. So you can see in this manipulation, because she is good at manipulation. We see that she is the daughter of the night, and Teleran Riyadh is kind of her... It is a playground that she excels in. So we could see almost a manipulation, maybe almost gaslighting from a different perspective of her trying to manipulate Luz to give her what she wants. And
Dick.
Maybe,
Dick. Yeah. Do we see that third name as like a PhD?
It's more than.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's how I've always kind of seen it too.
One thing, and I think Adam, you may have brought it up, like, kind of, it'd be a very interesting story to tell at the beginning because, like you said, Age of Legends is like a fucking sci-fi novel for the most part, but a distinctly, intentionally bland one because everything is, quasi paradise. And one of the things that's always kind of been ironic about that was, their search for a higher power. For whatever reason, they felt they needed something to, bring on the next age, even though there was no suffering, there was no whatever the fuck. So it kind of like more sounded out what exactly did they really want with the power at the boar, or what eventually became the boar. And then, another thing...
We get tidbits of that.
Yeah, but like kind of really more from their point of view of like, life is pretty damn near perfect. Most of us that can't channel live at least 100, and those who can live 500. Money is not really an object that anyone cares about. Like, your worth life is just trying to work for things.
I mean, we're going to see movies about the downfall of paradise. So it's like, again, it's kind of Robert Jordan's statement of like, you already know what's going to happen. Is there interesting stories to tell within that world? Sure. Like, I'm sure they're going to come up with something that's interesting. I'm sure. I'm interested to see, like, we're talking about the rights and stuff. It's like, can they say Lanfear? Is it Lanfear, or will they not call her Lanfear? Will it be a different casting? Of course it will. But, like, because it's not connected. But at the same time, like, that's kind of, it's a jarring disconnect from the show, and it's going to be weird.
I think looking at it's almost like a Tower of Babel moment. It's trying to ascend to godhood and the fall from grace, or less Tower of Babel and more Paradise Lost. And it's the rise of Icarus, trying to fly to the sun and burning. You want to be God because it's the only other level that you can ascend to be something akin to the creator. And I think that's what they were potentially sensed, found in the thinness maybe, and then they realized it was something else.
There is that Garden of Eden symbology as well, where they were trying to tap into unknown, the greatest power, and the only difference is they weren't warned against doing it. But this was essentially a quest for power. You have a society that, quote, had no suffering, end quote, which is ridiculous because, sure, Lanfear was certainly suffering when her heart got broken. I mean, it's a silly assumption unless we say, oh, but then the Dark One...
It's almost like Putin saying that there are no gays in Russia.
Yeah, there's none. Well, Ryan, there's none.
He also said that we don't have prostitutes.
Tinder shows none.
He also says we don't have prostitutes in Russia, but if we did, they'd be the best prostitutes in the world.
So what we have is essentially like this, Garden of Eden story. The Tree of Knowledge is more or less this, this power source. I'm interested to see where this power source is. In my head, it's always in space, but this shit could be on a macro level a micro level as well, where a condenser.
You mean the boar itself?
The boar.
It's on an idyllic island in the middle of the sea. It was just a place for rustic traveling.
So it's like,
and then one summer colony
crashed there, and
a bunch of people survived.
Yeah,
there was the others. It was crazy.
Yeah, I like to get like a dial angle to it. I appreciate that.
I don't know. I always thought of it as a thinness between like realities, like kind of less than like something that you could be like, it's here. Like they even say that the boar isn't in like a place. It's just like
it can be sensed there. Is what the whole point is.
So
but
even Shio Goal is like the closest to that thinness. It's not like that's the actual boar or something. It was just
I thought we saw it in the last battle though. Still like the boar.
the metaphysics,
The boar
the
rushing down the
metaphysics around having these seals be the focus of these things, of the what is holding the seal on the Dark One, the 7 discs of Quandar. That whole metaphysics is still baffling to me. I don't understand it. If I try to explain to someone, oh, okay, this is how they captured the Dark One. No fucking idea. I could not tell you. John,
You realize at the time, like Robert Jordan was going through a lot of different back pain, and so it was very symbolic for him of like kind of what was like how he was feeling. And
sciatica
slowly,
is horrible.
yeah, that is it. Slowly,
and the pain would shoot right down to his taint.
Yeah, all the way. Very symbolic.
Side in on a stick. Ah.
Yeah.
So, Adam, what are your? I mean, how do you picture the sealing actually happening?
It's a weird one because it's one of those things which I always imagine being on a almost like an atomic level. When I think of the boar and the sealing, I almost imagine someone doing something at almost like a quantum level and trying to access power that way, if I try and like look at it from a scientific aspect. So by sealing it, I've never really kind of been able to picture in my head how it would be portrayed, apart from almost going back to Harry Potter, that kind of in-between worlds where you kind of do something.
It all goes back to Harry Potter.
or if we look to Brandon Sanderson, where you kind of do something in the spiritual realm and it kind of follows through in the cognitive and the physical. So I
actually really appreciated that ending. I know, like, and we kind of touched on this 1,000 years ago, but just the fact that we have an ending, and people can bitch about whether or not Brandon did a good job or he handled these characters well or whatever. The fact that we have an ending to this book series is like the best thing that could ever happen to anyone that loves those books before he died. And I'm like, so it's kind of on that note of like, well, if these movies are going to be good or bad, like, we have them. So, or theoretically we would. But like, you know, like that's just kind of a great thing in and of itself. You know, like just having them at all, whether they're good or bad, or they illustrate the things that we want, isn't really important. It's just, as Jonna was saying, as Tolstoy's been saying, you know, like it just, you know, it just adds to the things that we don't have, information we don't have from the book series, you know, or from the encyclopedia, I guess.
The reason we've been hanging out with this book series for 30 years is because it is a rich, large, enjoyable, big-ass blanket that we throw of each other, and we can explore different parts of it. And I hope that this happens. Let's keep in mind that recently we have had several television/movie crossovers. We've had the Mandalorian being a part of the Star Wars series. We've had the WandaVision and the Winter whatever being part of the Marvel thing, but those were series Dragon as well. Winter's Dragon, yeah.
It's called The Falcon and the Winter's Dragon.
I'd watch that crossover.
No.
It's all about Fael hanging out with Luce Theron right before everything goes to shit.
Yep.
So let's say that
Winter's Dragon is coming.
Red Eagle is going
Turns
for the
out Fael is
stars.
Captain America, though.
Red Eagle's like,
great.
why shouldn't we be Marvel? Why shouldn't we be Lucas? Why shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't? And there's not the we don't have the possibility isn't out of the reins of odds that Sony/Amazon will pick this shit up. It doesn't have a studio yet. It's just
Bezos is going to buy it.
What's
Yeah,
that?
no, yeah. I'm in that camp too. I believe this was like a publicity stunt, and they're going to get bought out because we're sitting here talking about that, and we're not talking about the television show. So I think they understand this, and they're going to jump in and just squash.
They're actually
this.
listening right now.
Ultimately,
Saying, "Oh,
you
right."
do want it to be connected.
NSA is like national
like
security.
you want it to be
Amazon.
connected.
Well,
I'm sure Amazon would love to have the people that they have cast and have not revealed to us playing the playing the Forsaken in that movie. They would want that to happen. It would just strengthen their show. So, like,
This
why
B in
wouldn't they?
Bezos stands for Zane too. So Billy Zane, Bezos. I mean,
Billy fucking Zane. I think he said.
Yeah.
I think he meant to say.
yeah. I mean, so
I
that's
wouldn't be
He's so hot right now, Billy Zane.
Bay's fucking Zeus.
Yeah, he's so hot he won't respond to any of our at messages.
Yeah, come on.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of if Red Eagle, Iwat had kind of gone to Sony and Amazon and said, "This is what we want to do, but we want $200 million, and you can have it."
No.
And they've kind of gone, "No," and they've kind of gone, "Okay, right, we'll do it ourselves." Make the announcement at midnight, which is a bizarre time.
Which is their
because-
style. It's their style, though.
It's their style, yeah.
Winter's Dragon premiere, 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of now going, well, Sony and Amazon's lawyers are kind of going, well, shit, they've actually said that they're going to do this. We'll go back to the table. And they're kind of go, well, actually, no, we said 200, but actually, we really want 400.
Right. Well, and
Why stop there?
here is one thing I do want to comment on is that the guy who's on NCIS, pop him up on the corner, the guy who's writing this whole thing, he is a fan of the series on a major level. And in fact, according to What Up, he was in Dusty Will's chat.
He was
just the last couple days when they were talking about this.
I don't
exact
believe
thing.
it. Also, there's no way he was in Dusty Will's chat because he knew he was writing this and it was about to be announced. There's no way.
No, he was in the. He was in. If you look back on the video,
There's no way he wasn't.
Why isn't he not this
strolling
chat?
around Twitter to
Where's
see what
Mike
they're
Stentz
talking
right
about?
now?
I
Come
tweeted
on.
out. I said, I wonder if we can get him in. He did not respond. Bitterly disappointed. Clearly doesn't think that this has the same caliber.
Oh,
he already made his $200 million. He's good to go.
well, thank you for reaching out.
But I don't think I've ever seen anyone that has been attached to an adaptation, and someone said this online, who has never been a big fan of the series or a big fan of the work that they're adapting. He could have literally just picked up The Eye of the World last week and just got through Dragonmount and watched Winter Dragon and think, I can do better. And they've kind of gone, you're hired. Like,
That's the bar.
But, I mean,
that's the bar.
Yeah.
There was, I think, less than 300 people, which is, I mean, I'm not poo-pooing this at all, but there was less than 300 people watching the Dusty Whale, and he was one of them. That sort of knowledge of the fandom, at least, I don't know if that's like his team said, all right, then at 2:00, this guy is doing a live stream that he just set up that day that you need to be a part of.
Oh, they're
He's
all
like,
aware of it. Red Eagle's aware of all of that.
Yeah,
So,
no, but I get what you're saying, Brother Dan. Like that's a lot of, like that does scream legitimate fan versus
correct.
Someone willing to just go out and just pretend to be.
Jury's out. Ryan, you're the judge.
To me, yeah, Ryan.
Don't fuck this up, Judge.
No, I think that you can't read into that. That's just good marketing.
Yeah.
All this is marketing.
Or
we're not
fandom.
like
or fandom. It could be either one.
Well,
Let's
again keep in mind he didn't have this show planned. He's like, "Hey, news! I'm going on in a couple hours."
Or do you even believe him?
Yeah,
Maybe
no, I
he
mean,
did have a plan.
you make an announcement, and then you just follow Twitter all day. It's not hard.
Okay. All right.
Just follow hashtags. It's not like that's what they do.
Okay.
They
All
have,
right.
like,
Right
teams
on.
of
Right
people.
on. No, I hear you.
Hey, it's not hard, man. Not like the 9 rods of Dominion, which are always hard.
If I would be impressed if he was like on regularly, or you have evidence of him being on a year
I don't
ago.
know. Maybe he has been.
And
we just never recognized his name.
Hey,
now
not
we
to
don't.
derail
Now we
off
know.
this-
Now we know.
Now what is
NCIS
it?
guy. NCIS
What's his
guy.
name? Dan, what's his name?
Heart Stints.
Zan.
Oh, that's his brother. I fucked that up.
That's
Hard stints. Nice.
Stan's joke. That wasn't nice. The callback.
What? Just a couple stints and 40 pounds lost, and I feel like 100%.
Yeah, just like an amazing shit. Do you see my smile?
That was the 40 pounds.
All right, before we go, I want to get in my 2 cents of what I want to see. Remind me what Forsaken was the therapist.
Grandal.
All right, that's why. That's okay. So I want to see some basically like some Sopranos level like Grandal therapy sessions.
Oh yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see. I will watch that whole series, a whole spin-off of her just doing therapy.
What if that's like Iron Man 3 when Tony is just talking to like the Hulk at the end of the movie? What if, and he's like, I'm not that kind of doctor. Like, what if that's just the end of the 3 movies? It's just loose therapy, and that's what happened. And then she's like, I'm not that kind of doctor. What are you doing?
Post-credit scene, Rand on a couch, just talking to Hessalam.
Well, and that again goes to there was no suffering, and yet there were therapists.
Yeah,
well, there weren't suffering.
People want to talk about their problems. It could just be as simple as I forgot how to tie my shoes because the robot lost its power.
Yeah,
I bumped into a Deshane and he didn't apologize. I feel really conflicted by this.
He did. He bowed, but it wasn't quite a bow.
Ryan, I have a quick question. Before we wrap up. Let me real fast.
Yes.
You guys. So the Forsaken all meet at Shia Ghul and get sucked into the boar. What point of view do you want to see that scene from?
The Forsaken that gets left behind.
Yeah, I've always felt like there has to be Forsaken left behind. Yeah.
No, we
and he just goes, fuck.
We know that a dozen Forsaken died during the War on Power. I want to see Larry the Forsaken that gets randomly taken, his head just gets
Larry
taken
Mandragoran? Allegedly.
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 He just gets his head gets taken off by a random show wing, just going for a crash. You see him as his cameo, and then bump, head explodes. And
I think I would like to see that from Ishmael's perspective, solely because he was the last one in, so to speak. Perhaps because he was nearer to the edge of the boar, and therefore could do his Ishmael shit and pop in and pop out as he could. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see the last one to be sucked in.
Or Agenor.
That perspective.
Right.
That always threw me because in one of Jordan's interviews where they talk about the Forsaken speaking the old tongue, and he talks about how Agenor and Balthamel being so close to the boar or to the surface and not being fully sealed by the boar and the seals.
You're right,
kind of
and that's what
understand
caused
the world
them to age
a bit better.
Right.
But Ishmael's kind of, I'm going to pop out every 40 years, cause a little bit of shit, destroy a few nations, and then go back in.
That's a solid point.
It never really fit as to how the metaphysics of it worked, because if he can do it, why can't Agenor and Balthamel, being that they're only kind of tied in? And I think that fits with the whole Eye of the World not being fully formed and almost canon, but non-canon in how things work.
How dare you? No, for real, Tosai. Yeah, for sure.
Just kidding.
Yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Similarly, how does he travel? Right at the beginning of the when
you mean Rand at the end of the book?
Well, that too. But Ishmael travels by just disappearing, not opening a gateway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dark One can do that shit. We don't know what the Dark One. Anyway,
don't bring up new theories right at the end.
Come on, John. All right, John. What point of view would you like to see the sealing of the board done through?
All right, stop talking. That's been LeafCast for this week. No, okay. Go ahead, John.
Oh well. Yeah, we got it.
I kind of want to see it from Luce Theron's point of view, because the sealing of the boar is also what happens with the backlash. So that's kind of when all of a sudden you see, I don't know, I'm certainly not an artistic guy, but you see everything makes sense, and then all of a sudden shit happens, and it all feels dirty and murky, and some of them apparently go insane at the moment because
taint happen.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to see.
These are all good thoughts.
I want to see Lanfear, and I want to see her betrayal as she is getting sucked in and locking eyes with Luce Theron, her lover, as she goes. I think that could be pretty powerful because the betrayal.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Ryan, do
especially if it's not the same actress.
Ryan.
Well, I want to see whoever survives it because I kind of just imagine it looking like they're getting flushed down a toilet, and I want to see that overhead image of them all just going
Metaphysically,
I can't argue with that. Yeah.
Right.
The seals originally had a handle, and they were plungers. Joe, Adam, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Been a fucking fun show. I like reacting like this. It's been a long time, and we have a new friend as well. So Adam, why don't you tell people where you are online and such?
So I am Tylen's Toy on Twitter. You probably know me from there. So I'm always happy to chat to new members of the community, and it's always really nice seeing how everyone has taken this. It was initially just a random grouping of half a dozen people, and it's expanded to you guys, to Dusty Wheel, to you guys on Whatcast, everyone doing everything. It's so nice seeing what this community has become, and I can't wait to see how we all integrate with the new members that are going to be coming in and being, hopefully, fingers crossed, as welcoming with the show watchers as we are with the book readers.
I think this community has wide open arms. And
I agree.
Big baskets to catch people. You know, I think. I'm anxious. I'm not anxious. Ryan doesn't have big arms. Really well said. And you are on Twitter at Tylen's Toy.
I am, yes.
All right.
At
Jono, I'm going to let you do the plug for your show.
We do the plugs a lot. I'm usually in charge of that. So I'm Jono, that's Joe from Twatcast. We are at Twatcast on Twitter. We have a website which we updated, I think, last time 4 or 5 years ago, so that's very current. We've been doing a podcast for literally a fucking decade. Don't understand how or why we've done that, but we have. There's a third part of us, of our triumvirate, Joe's brother Tom. He's dead. Not here today. Yeah.
Oh, he's dead to us.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the theme song does.
He's my favorite podcaster.
Yeah, the one who's not there is everyone's
You're not
favorite.
supposed to reveal that, Ryan.
I miss you, Tom.
Who's your favorite puppet?
Well, I mean, my favorite one is here right now. That's all that's important.
That's a good point.
Well said.
Whatever.
Hey, what a nice that I answer that was.
That's actually what I do to Black Tower boys every time we talk to them. Like, well, my favorite Black Tower member is here. But it's always the two of them, and they're like, wait a minute.
Joe, did I need to say anything else? Because Joe does all the work.
Twatcast.com, it's very easy. And also wherever you get your podcast, Twatcast.
Are you paneling this weekend?
We're not. You know why? Because the Jordan Con schedule is very slim. It's slimmed down because of COVID. They're being very careful. They don't want a lot of people. We typically have a nighttime show for obvious reasons. And everything stops at 7. So.
And you guys are ferocious anti-vaxxers. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ferocious.
Absolutely. Do not want. Wait, that's.
Fauci, no sir, me sir.
Yeah, me and John are gonna dick around and do something fun, and we'll probably just like gather up a weird crowd outside and record something. It'll be fun.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Well, like Brian and I have always said, you guys were the very first podcast, not Wheel of Time based podcast, the very first podcast that we listened to. So we are thrilled to be
when we
friends
got released
with you.
from the sanitarium, they gave us both Blackberries, and I learned about podcasts.
They're like, there's only one Wheel of Time.
Yeah, and
podcast.
And those are the books that they would only let us read in the sanitarium. So
Makes sense.
And for years, we called her Niniade.
Niniade.
Nieve. So yeah,
and I did the
I'm
figure
pretty
shit
sure
as well.
that's how they're gonna pronounce it in the show, but we'll see. They fucked up Lan already, so we don't know.
who? You mean Lon?
Lon?
What? Never.
All right, everyone. Remember, we have a Patreon. We'd love for you to go peruse the tiers that we have. They're fun. We spent a lot of time thinking about that. Also, our official sponsor of The Way of the Leaf is Village Mattress. If you want a Village Mattress discount, you go to furnitureandmattress.com.
Seriously, 30 to 50% off, guys. This is no joke. I mean, everyone can use upgraded bedding and mattress stuff. And he's a fan of the show. He's a fan of the community. He's been a contributor to the community for a long time. He was the #1 contributor, I believe, to your Twatcast-a-thon. And received that exclusive painting that had him in the background, or had him. Remember that painting that the top donor won? That was
yeah.
So
literally,
he loves his community. He loves us. He loves you guys. So he's offering deals. 30 to 50% off is seriously. If you're gonna spend $3,000 on something and suddenly it's like $1,500 or $1,800, that's a fucking big deal.
He will work with you to help you out. He's a huge Wheel of Time supporter. His name is Chris, a.k.a. Village Mattress, a.k.a.
That's his cell phone number.
Ace Cards. Literally, he's saying, call his ass, text him. He will walk you through the process. It's painless. He's the nicest guy. He'll theory talk, and you'll make a new friend.
It's promo code 69420puppets. All right. That's
everyone needs look at me. Before I met Ace Village Mattress, that's what I was living like. And then look at this. Look at these sheets.
Oh, man.
Look at
that. That's luxurious.
That looks like a well-rested man.
Yeah.
Luxurious.
Flower petals may not be included.
All right. So, shameless promos done. Right. Guys, we love you. And if you are available, let's go over to Discord. I'll probably be there in like 10 minutes. It's going to be fun. Good. We're going to be video chatting.
Thank you guys for having us on.
It's cocktail hour,
guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, right, you guys are the best. This has been a fun show, guys. I enjoyed this conversation a great deal.
I think
thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. It really has been.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for staying up. It is like after 3 a.m. your time, yes?
It is nearly 3:20, and I will still try and make an appearance in Discord.
Yes!
What a beautiful man. Guys.
So, guys, we're going to go to the spoiler-free chat room in our Discord because we're going to be meeting up with K Sadai and our friend Todd later, who are our first-time readers. So, go to the spoiler-free chat.
See you guys.
All right, adios.
Get to reading, you filthy.